All right, guys, welcome to our SSP 450, our second lecture. We're going to start talking about strategic marketing management. As we get going, guys, keep in mind that all of your assignments for this class are going to revolve around you developing a kind of a small marketing plan for an organization. So this is really the first step in that. So as a sport marketer, we're looking for consistency, meaning we want to have a vision and a plan, and we want to be able to develop kind of a comprehensive strategy and tactics to be able to put together a marketing process, a process to get our organization aligned with our customers and to give us a chance to be able to be successful. So kind of an example from the world of golf. So golf participation has fell, particularly with females and younger people. And so the initial plan that golf had, well, we need to build more courses. Well, that's not true because you don't have anybody to play them. So the rethought plan was to start to try to retain and strengthen the people who already play golf and try to come up with a way to engage the some 61 million people who still have some kind of passion for golf or interest in golf, and to figure out a way to drive new players to the game. So this marketing plan process is just a part of an organization's bigger plan. Okay, it's not just for big organizations. This should be something as small as a high school athletic team should have a marketing plan. And that fits into the overall strategy of what they're doing. So it's kind of a 5-step process. And we're going to go through all 5 steps broadly, but we're going to really focus on the first 2 steps for this week. So the kind of step 1 is to develop a vision, kind of a position in a market and a purpose. Step 2 is to come up with some goals and objectives. Step 3 is kind of develop a plan to sell and market your event. Step 4 is to kind of figure out how to integrate that plan into a bigger part of your organization. And then step 5 is just to evaluate and kind of control the plan. So the step 1 is develop a vision, a position, and a purpose. So the first step is you got to visualize your organization. What is your organization's vision? What is it about? What's its purpose? And then so you can capture this with a mission statement, and it kind of focuses on the long-term visions of your organization. So guys, kind of our vision guides what we do every day, and we may have some core values that help us practice our vision on a daily basis. And this is important because it gives our employees some structure, some guidelines for how they live their life within our business. And it helps us to continue to grow forward and move forward. So some examples: the NFL's mission is respect, integrity, responsibility to team, and resiliency. And you start to wonder, well, is an increase on-field violence and off-field negative behaviors that helping reach those? Okay, Ohio State has a core vision that rests on like 6 elements. Well, you wonder, well, did Urban Meyer fit into those? So you wonder if some people are actually living by this. And so in order for us to kind of figure out where we fit at as an organization, we have to know where we're at it within our environment. We have to know where we fit at within our bigger industry that we're in, whether that's a team, how do we fit within our league or within our conference or within our classification. Okay, and so you do this through a SWOT analysis, and SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so strengths they're internal. These are positive things. These are things that we want to try to maximize. Weaknesses are also internal, and these are negative. These are things that are maybe costing us money, costing us to lose. These are things we have to improve. opportunities are kind of they're basically, it's hard to explain this to you guys, but they're ways that we can capitalize on our weaknesses, okay, or help us try to avoid our threats. And understand that our threats are things that are outside of our control that are negative or detrimental to our business. So, for an example, if I was, say I was coaching a college team, well, a threat would be, maybe an up and coming team, and so opportunities are ways for me to combat that threat. So, an annual SWOT analysis is essential. Okay, you could come up with a lot of things and can tell you a lot of things. Okay, women in sport is a way of recognizing that we don't have enough of that involved in our sport. We need more action at our grassroots level. We got to understand that there's a digital revolution keeps extending, that there's ambush marketing, that there's fads, there's trends. And so after we do this SWOT analysis, which we could do at least one time a year, it allows us to kind of see where we're misaligned, to see where we need to focus on our core business. So after we've done this, we've got this vision and these values, this mission statement, we've done a SWOT, and then we start looking at strategic goals and objectives. And these are things that help us move toward achieving our mission. And so a goal is simply, something we want to accomplish in a given amount of time. An objective is really how we're going to meet that goal, an action item. And so Denver Grizzlies, which is a minor league hockey team, they want to, have positive publicity and goodwill toward the organization. That's kind of how their goals are. So their objectives would be, based on how do we achieve that. Now, this step 3, 4, and 5 will be more down the road. So I'm going to go through these kind of faster. But once we've done all those steps 1 and 2, we're going to start to develop a marketing plan. And we're going to start looking at kind of, broad and kind of specific tactical levels of how we want to meet this. This might have to do with ticket sales. It might be with improving attendance. It might be developing sponsorships. This is going to be different based on every organization, depending on how the size they are and what their goals are. And then we're going to start in that step, and this is something we'll get into the next week or so, is we have to start to look at who are we trying to target? Who are we marketing to? Who are the people who we're trying to get to our organization or use our product? And so we'll look at this from demographics, psychographics, how people use products, how often they use them, and we'll talk about that coming up in the next couple of weeks. And our end goal, guys, and this really applies to anything you're marketing, is to try to move people from being somebody who knows nothing about your organization, which is down here, to somebody up here who's a heavy user. Okay, so this might be going from somebody who's never seen a softball game to somebody up here who is a season ticket holder. Okay, that's what we're trying. There's a lot of steps along the way, and this is essentially what the marketing plan is for. And we'll go through this very much in depth as we go in throughout the weeks. And so as we start to identify those target markets, those people we're trying to market to, then we start to really develop the plan, which is kind of this marketing mix of using promotion and price and place and in product ways to get people to come to our organization or use the product that we're doing. And again, we'll get into this much more in depth, but we have a product. Product could be our softball game. Product could be a basketball game. Product could be an actual product. We have a price that we have to be able to control. We have to determine where that product's going to be distributed at. We have to come up with promotional ways of advertising and selling our product. And we have to come up with a public relations strategy for making people aware of our product. And so as we start to develop this plan, it's going to get put into our larger organization, meaning that marketing is only a real small part of that. We have to have partnerships and research, and we have to have buy-in from a lot of people in order for this marketing plan to come to life. That could be people buying our tickets. It could be our corporate partners like sponsors. It could be the media. It could be our community as a whole. So for instance, if we were marketing our softball team, well, that's fine and good, but we have to have buy-in from the athletic department. We have to have buy-in from the university leaders. And then our last step is we have to implement this plan and control it. So we're going to have good things happen. We're going to have bad things happen. We have to continually discuss, look at data, understand what worked, what didn't work, and understand the idea is we're trying to make our consumers happy. And that involves, developing a great product at a reasonable cost to where they will consume whatever it is that we're selling. And when we start looking at measuring how effective what we're doing is, we have to start to look at things like satisfaction, benefits, total cost of experience, ethical principles. Obviously, this is a huge lead deal. That's why this Ole Miss Rebels is on here. This the whole environment we're living in now. We have to evaluate all of this kind of stuff. And so it kind of leads to kind of a model of being able to make this thing happen, where we look at and analyze our market. We capture our data. We start to communicate what it is that we can do for people, why our product is good, and we end up hopefully moving people up that escalator from not knowing a whole lot about us, guys, until really knowing a lot about us and caring about us. So this process will kind of go through over the next, 6 weeks or so, and you'll understand it very well by the end.